Let's talk about one of the books on my 10 before the end, Martyr, and why I may think it may be possibly my favorite read of the year. I'm pretty sure I actually picked this up right around when it was published, 2024, so the biggest regret I have is waiting so long to read it, especially because there's so many book talk accounts that I follow who love this book. The ones in the know read it last year and declared that it was their favorite read, or they read it this year and read it multiple times. And with this dark comedy, I can definitely see why. This is a type of story that called to me. And it may be hard to tell because I use pencil, but it was definitely one that I felt that I had to underline and annotate pretty much all throughout. So I can definitely see this being a reread for me. We have an MC who is pretty much the same age as me, so I could really identify with some of those past and current events that he makes point of describing in this novel. While there are some pretty strange elements into how the story gets moving, this is a story that is so realistic that even though the only thing we probably had in common was our age, you are so enmeshed in their mindset that you are really taking on a whole nother person's POV and looking at those events through a completely different lens. We have Cyrus. He is an Iranian immigrant who came here as a child, so he is basically American with his personal struggles and, of course, the political issues that played out in the news. There are some repercussions when it comes to how the United States interacts with the Middle East. That is to say, Cyrus has lost his mother at a very young age, and in college, after losing his father, finds himself lost and wondering what is the purpose of his life and what is he meant to do. This is a novel about grief, about family, about political events and things out of your control, but this is also a novel about addiction and sobriety. In addition to clearly what the title is about, this is also a novel about poetry and art and the meaning to your life. I would say that this is a singular and unique work, but it did make me think of some other books that I really love that I've read recently or in the past. When it comes to families and the somewhat twist to the story, it made me think of Invisible Monsters. When it comes to maybe the Middle Eastern community trying to process the racism and aggression that comes from America constantly involving itself in the conflicts there, it made me think of two recent novels that certainly blew me away with how they describe life in America for different groups. And finally, the beauty in the writing, the story within the story, the dark humor calls to mind one of my favorite reads in the last couple of years, Erasure. Have you attempted Martyr? Did you find that this was the read for you or not?